Oh man.
Oh, we're gonna have to get this. You say who's?
I was just saying, I want to get that on record.
Say that. Say that
you
again.
Said what you just said.
Say it with your chest. You know, say you would have made what? A good mom is wife.
What are you talking about, Lawrence? I have no idea.
Like, oh, okay, just making sure. Just we out here just having a good time yet again, recording another episode of the Financial Griotis with me, Lawrence Double Gonzalez, as well as Atlanta Alsan, as well as lovely Mel DeLuz, talking about finances, having joy in life, and really bringing it full circle with all our stories and anecdotes that we might have. And on top of that, we like that you've been sharing, subscribing, leaving us reviews, telling us we suck or not, whatever. And hopefully, you might not cancel us by November. Cause I got a few episodes in there.
They're gonna cancel you, sir. Sir.
Oh yes.
The application is pending. I can't wait.
We have one Nigerian fan. And I don't think he's gonna be happy with me once he's done. He's probably gonna be listening to that episode while eating some jollof, and then you're gonna be like real mad at the same time.
You guys
real pissed off. So you know what? A lot of our fans don't know. We have a lot of topics or ideals that we kind of jot down. And Atlanta's been like, I don't know what you've been doing with them. You've been saying you've been copying them. I have no idea what you do with them, but ultimately we have a lot of great thoughts. I don't remember nothing out. Can you kind of say something
when we start recording?
Can you say some of
that when we start recording?
Okay, can we say some of the topics? Just read them out.
All right. Thank goodness for Apple Notes. Okay, the first one. I had this one. So TFG episode ideas. Lawrence is a brunch hater. We have one that's called The Negative Narrative of the Mad Black Woman and Lazy Men. The resilience of...
How is that negative, though? It's the truth. No, I'm continue.
You see what I mean? We have one says The Resilience of New Yorkers, Black Homeowners. I think it's from that article you had shared at one time. The next one we have Black Customer Service. We aren't your enemies. Another topic is the reason why we tell poor people that college is not for them. Name a millionaire that saves money. Another one we have copy plus paste culture. Another episode is self-awareness and self-acceptance. And this is one of my favorites because you always go on a tangent regarding this. Scammers going to scam, but have you scammed yourself? I think lovely. That was lovely.
Let them scam. let them scam.
And you kind of touch on before you get scammed, you scam yourself, you override the truth, the red flags. But what are we doing in many areas of our lives? So that's a good one. Okay. Another idea we have is how escapism is a market, and how we have doubled down on consuming that we often neglect creating, and how wealth builders operating in both. Then we should do that's more me. It says it's still a pandemic, the before, the during, and the post impacts of COVID. Another topic idea is subconscious self-sabotage. And next, the unreliable narrator of failure. And here we have another one is her intimate relationship with a scammer. What was that one? Who said
Nobody
that
knows anymore. These just says it's an intimate relationship with a scammer. And it might have been me. I don't know. Intimate.
Honestly, I told you.
It sounds kind of sexy.
It
kind of sounds sexy
though. Yeah.
Like the intimate relationship.
That's a real good one.
That's a book. That's a book. That's a book.
I just copy and paste one. I just copy and paste it to here. This is one image that I copy and paste from the group. It's that tweet. It's the tweet where this woman says, single moms are out here birthing millionaires. Let's not play with them. And Lawrence went on a tangent in our group, so I copy and paste that. So
it wasn't me. It wasn't
that was
me.
You went on a tangent.
Hey, unless my lawyer saw that, I have no idea. I plead the fifth.
We have one that I think Lovely mentioned about we should do one history of Black economics in a financial therapy episode. We should talk about regarding money scripts and limiting beliefs. And this is where we're just suggesting about guests come on talking about budgets and goal setting. Next we have Black Vote, Not Black Impact. Lovely, I got that as you. You are woke yet broke. That is Lawrence.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I want to let people really know, double down on that. If you're so damn woke, but you're so damn broke at the same time.
It says your closet or your wealth. And lastly, I put here, I think that this was my idea. What are you doing financially in your season of singleness?
See, with these titles, I see that some people tend to be a little bit more professional than others. I tend to be more toxic.
Yeah, not look back at it.
Yeah, I tend to be a little bit more hard hitting out here. So, even for myself, I had to think about it.
But you know what? One thing I do like about our topics, because we stem from that topic, but the topic just goes a lot of places, because that episode that we are hinting on, that I know a lot of men would not like Lawrence after they hear it, it was actually about another subject. And it kind of just, outsourced into these other different topics and discussions. So that's what I really like about it. But these are a lot of really good topics and ideas. At some point, I feel like the Lawrence is a brunch hater one. I think we talk about it like every episode. At some point,
it's just part. It's a through line for the season. That's what that is. Yeah. Like, you know what? I might actually say it. I think I could hear your actual ear loops. That's what it is. It's creating like a sound thing.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
The ear loops?
Yeah, every time you talk, don't you hear that, Lovely? Lovely's not saying anything, but let her talk and you'll hear like...
Are we recording?
Yeah, this is recording. It's no cuts, no edits. That's what we do.
Man. Hi, guys. I didn't know we were recording. I thought you guys were just listing these things to figure out which one we're going to talk about. I'm out here writing notes. Okay.
Nah, we going all in.
So there's no more on the list, Elena?
Yeah, that's everything that I have thus far.
So I guess we're asking the listeners to let us know which one you guys want to hear.
No, I just said we're just letting them know that we do have ideas coming through, and maybe if they do want to kind of give us which one they want us to tackle first, that'd be kind of nice. If you're out here, in the comment section somewhere, you send that out there, let us know, like which one you want to go first.
Oh, we can make a good announcement. We have a great person. I really like her. She's going to be doing our YouTube and our Instagram, courtesy of Lawrence. So you want to make that announcement, Lawrence? You want to make that?
I don't want to make any announcements. I didn't even know it was happening. I didn't know what's happening right now. This is happening brand new to me. Like, everybody's figuring this out.
So we have Instagram now, and it's the Financial Griot, courtesy of Doreen. So we'll be able to actually post and do all that good stuff, because we're trash, all three of us.
Damn, like
you can tag us, so you
we
can
are
start
trash. Like, and
yes.
you okay with that? You okay with that? Like, she just
I know I'm not trash.
Huh?
I know I'm not trash.
I was like, where'd that come from? Like, it just kind of hit me off the head. Like, you are trash. We.
In terms of, I guess, posting on like the YouTubes and the Instagrams and all that other good stuff that we have to do.
I write all full blogs out there on my website all the time.
I
post on schedule.
You've been telling me that, but I haven't seen.
I post blogs all the time. Like, what you talking about?
I've not seen.
There's a hashtag with the Financial Griot, like a
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I hashtag too. Like, we've been doing some work. I think you talking about yourself.
You by yourself on this one.
Like, say we like, we are a team. Like, we.
But now they're all over. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. So if you're looking for it, because I know some people really do listen to the YouTube stuff for real. Like, they literally put it up and they'll listen to which means we have to start looking like people so we can actually have some video content.
True. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna start it off. Like, I think we kind of, now people are like, man, what are we gonna start off with an episode? I'm gonna start off with this. I know there's a topic somewhere, but at this point, I'm gonna say that I saw this, I posted it, this young lady, this is IG model, right? Mm-hmm. She posted about herself. She's taking poses, looking very seductive, looking very beautiful. Might you add, like, guys were like,
we'll follow her.
She's looking real, we went, guys be like, gotta go find it. No, we can't follow her. It's gone. But ultimately, she decided that the best place to pose was at her father's funeral. Open casket, mind you. Yes, open casket. Open casket, like, straight up. Her dad was behind her, rest in peace, right? While she out here going to the side pose, front pose, prayer pose. who's taking these pics? Like, that's the question. Who is this psychopath that's along with, because you can't be the psychopath by yourself. You got to be, there's the accomplice taking the photo. That person had no guts to say, you know what, maybe this is not the time to do it, especially not open casket with your dad behind you, but she did. This, this society is getting weird.
She looked like a Gen Z or something.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of there's this how do I want to word this? There's this weird misinterpretation of humanization online. I think there's this, you know how Facebook just came out with the new term metaverse. The term's already actually been around. People have already started to talk about it, and now they're called Meta. I think what we don't realize is like there's this separation between reality and the augmented reality that we're creating online. And there's also this lack of emotional intelligence that's happening, right? So this is not the first time that an influencer has done something like this completely left, where the mom that was forcing the little boy to cry more so she can get a thumbnail for the YouTube. And she had to shut down her whole YouTube because fame, I think we used to remember how celebrities used to be like far away. Like it was like a far-fetched, out of touch. Now, everyday people can become famous, but they don't have the circulation of like the quote unquote training that comes along with what is fame. Like, you know how we were joking earlier about having a PR, like real celebrities literally have whole teams of people that kind of vet their stuff. And even then stuff used to slip through. Like, oh man, Britney cut all her hair off. Like, what's going on? Like, people started to kind of get into these celebrities' lives. But now everyday people, like, you can go viral on TikTok or you can go viral on any of these apps and automatically you become a quote unquote influencer. But influence is often absent of leadership in our generation. So you can be influential, but not necessarily a leader. And I think that's what's happening. So there's no cognitive thinking. There's no like, how does this, you know, what am I modeling for other people? Ain't nobody thinking about that. I'm just gonna take a cute picture. But that just shows you, like, even in that moment, either she had a really, really bad effed up relationship with her dad that it just didn't matter. Plus, on top of it, she's crazy. Or it's just like, we just lack empathy, emotional intelligence. And I think we're gonna see we already are seeing the effects of it. But the long-term effects of it is that we're going to continue to be more numb. And now people literally create ghost accounts to talk in a way that they feel more comfortable. And we're going to create these metaverses and people are just going to keep being people. And I don't think as a society, we're really understanding the cost of this. It's cool. I'm not against social media. I'm not against spreading things because clearly we're on a podcast. But there's a lot to be said about just like the lack of EQ that's going on in our society at the moment.
And unfortunately is being rewarded, or is I guess everything is so sensational where people are not differentiating good media versus bad media. As long as you are being talked about, being shared, being followed, like it's good. So while you brought this up, Lawrence, it kind of reminded me of Paul Logan, who is a YouTuber, but now he's a boxer, right? But in the past, it was like 2017, 2018, he recorded him and his friends went to Japan, near Mount Fuji. There's a forest that's known in Japan where people go out there to commit suicide. So him and his friends posted a video while they're in the forest. There was a body hanging from the tree. So of course, someone committed suicide. So rather than editing that part out of the video, they decide to post it. Right? The humanity is continuously decreasing because of these sensationalized videos, and people are becoming less and less aware, and the EQ of it all is going to be dismantled and passed down to next generation to say that let's do anything and everything to get followed, to get clicked, to be Insta famous. And Paul Logan had nothing. He wasn't reprimanded on anything. Maybe a little bit controversy, but it just made him even bigger.
No, he was reprimanded. He was definitely reprimanded. He had to do the whole apology thing. He had to do all that. And I think
did it really affect him though?
I mean, that's a small cost though.
Yeah, I think that's his brother. That's the boxer. I just want to kind of like fact check that.
No, his brother. Oh, okay.
I think
He's
his
not a
brother is the
boxer?
boxer now. Yeah, the MMA boxer type of guy.
Oh,
Yeah, but
Logan
that's his brother. That's Logan Paul Logan. The older one is not. I don't think the older one is the boxer. I think it's his little brother that's the boxer. He also became IG social media famous as well.
Oh, it's one. They look alike. So it's
Yeah. It doesn't. I guess it doesn't matter. But you're right. He didn't get a lot of big backlash. He did kind of. There's a pullback that typically happens, but then you go back to the same thing all over again. There's a certain level of learning, kind of, sort of, that you do, and then you realize that this lifestyle of being IG famous, Instagram famous, social media, everything, is that you got to provide content all the time, and at some point that content becomes you, because you can't just live your life anymore. You got to take a photo of the kid. You got to take a photo of the kid every month. You got to take a photo you got to take a photo of you without the kid in some weird position. Then you got to take your photo of you with the baby at different months in the same outfit. Then you have to put you with the baby that's out, and then you got to string it together. Then you have a next, thing where you have the video of which you have you, the baby, and whatever. It's getting weird. And then you have to put photo of the kid, everything that the kid is doing. You got to take photos of you, what you're doing, what tea you're drinking, what food you're eating, where you're going, what you're thinking. It's insane.
I'm not sure what's the terminology for that, Lovely, like these high clickable or sensationalized video, like, or I pierced my nipples or something like that. I think
sometimes it's like a click, they call some of it clickbait, because sometimes you
clickbait. Yeah, very clickbait or high those sort of
it's high interaction. I know what you mean.
High interaction.
It's high touch. High touch.
Yeah, high touch. Yeah, high touch or high interaction. And with that being said, then you have to kind of keep that flow of those type of videos, right? It doesn't matter the content itself. People want to be a part of that conversation, what's going on in your life, and they want that drama. They want all those sensationalized things to discuss, and that keep your views up. It's almost like a drug when you think about it, because you need to sustain a life, right? You need to sustain a lifestyle that you created for yourself, or this imaginary or maybe real it's the famous sort of idea or whatever that you have now, or this platform that you have. So they have to keep that up to stay relevant. That's why I know I couldn't be a celebrity. It's too much work. Why? I don't want to do it.
You said that this has always existed in society, and then social media has made it more loud, right?
Yeah.
So whether it used to be like, how certain people used to do, remember how back in the day, the outfits used to be like the jerseys and the big pants and like the air ones. And so now social is like you have to share that in real time. Like, this is not only high school where you go for an hour or not an hour, but a day, a couple of hours, and you get back home. Social media is literally cyclical. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365. And it's like, I think we're also, there's a hunger for it. So when we talk about like the scam and the scammer, the person that was scammed and then the person that's scamming, there has to be some type of a mix of it. So it's not only the people that's creating it, there's an audience very much hungry for this type of content. Like when there's an influencer that I follow, I really like her because she's kind of like, when she wants to be on, she's on, and when she feels like she needs to take a drawback of like mental health, she'll be gone. And I commend her for that, because a lot of people essentially don't have that balls to literally be able to say, hey, this is how I make my money. If I gotta stop, I gotta stop. And I think for her, she's learned how to have brand deals that are in line with her values. And you have to stick to your guns for that. And one thing that she kept mentioning is when she's gone for like 2 weeks, people are literally in her inbox. Like, yo, where you at? What's up? Haven't seen you. This, that, and the third. And it's not one people. These are thousands of DMs of like, what's going on. So there's double pressure on it. There's this internal thing that people are looking for, which is validation. Then there's the societal pressure of when you do quote unquote go viral, you do become an influencer, there's like a demand that's also put on from the audience. So while people are like, well, these influencers, but it's like, no, they have an audience, right? They have a group of people that are egging them on. Like, you know how those people that they would never have done something, but then there's that peer pressure of like 20 people telling you, yes. Deep down inside, this is wrong. You have to have strong value systems to not get caught up in the the noise. And I'm not telling anyone not to be an influencer, not to do these things, but I think you have to have surround yourself with people that actually know you, the real you, and don't let the fame get to your head and become egotistical, and really allow it to kind of have that fine balance, because I think there's both ends. There's a hungry audience out there, and now this has become somebody's livelihood, right? I think we were talking about this in the group chat, like the houses that some of these influencers are living in now. Like these are making people a whole heap of money, but then they're spending it just as fast, because do you have the new Burke bag? Do you have this? Do you have that? Do you have that? And you have to continue perpetuating this image that a lot of times you can't continue with, because honestly, a lot of it is not even truly you. And I think the people that we will see that will actually win in this game are people that have found center. Like I love Tabitha Brown, because I kind of feel like she's herself. And even though she's amassed a lot of influence, like she's consistently have this core value in who she is. She is older. She's like I think 40, 41. So maybe that also has like her already accepting herself, and she knows who she is. I think that gives her strength in her profile. But there's a lot of young influencers, and you got to think about when you were in high school, how impressionable you can be to just wanting to be accepted. That's why we have a massive amount of people doing BBLs. Maybe they didn't even care to have this type of body type, but now it's like, well, if you don't got a BBL, then you're not, you're not a woman, or da 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 da. And that type of pressure, if you're not necessarily grounded, it can break you, because online can be brutal.
Yeah, I had to look up who Tabitha Brown is for a second. I've seen her before, so I'm like, all right, cool. Just to kind of give it a little fun fact, I'm one of those people that knows this stuff. The first person that is known to be famous, or known to be branded in that sense, was Alexander the Great. He was the first true world influencer, in the sense of like, you got to print your face in the money so people know who you are. You got to do this, you got to do that. You even go to the time with people building pyramids. It was all about one-upping the last guy, right? It's like, hey, my dad did this. I'm going to build the next pyramid. It's going to take forever, but it's going to be this size. It's going to be dope. And the next person comes like, you know what? My great grandfather did this. I'm going to amp it up another thing. It's just like, now we've seen it, like you said, like that time frame between those type of like you stepping up, every time is becoming smaller and smaller and smaller, to the point where it's probably a matter of like hours now, if not even like, probably down to like 3 hours or so. If you ain't posting around 3 hours, people looking at you like, did you die? Are you really somebody? And especially with the way the algorithm is, how aggressive it is, people are forced to do anything for money. I've seen people, I'm like, you gotta be 45 out here dancing on the TikTok. It's not me. It's not, I'm like, I cannot do this. I can't. And you look goofy as hell, but you're getting a lot of follows. Is getting the interaction, is getting you the likes that you need, and hopefully it's gonna position you to get the money out those followers themselves. So do
they get money
it's
from,
crazy.
sorry to cut you off. Do they get money from TikTok? From like
TikTok actually has forced Instagram and Facebook to become more paying their creators. That's probably why you've seen that Instagram has monetized and Facebook has monetized their creators now, because TikTok really started it. And that's what people don't understand. Like a lot of the TikTok creators, they do get like money after a certain amount of views. And Instagram, the way they've been monetizing is saying like, well, if you go live 4 times a week, right? And you got over, let's say, in this case, I'm throwing out a random number, but 100,000 views. So when they say that, and then you're going to get $800, what are you going to do? You're going to want to create content that's going to make sure it goes a little viral, because you like, I got to hit these numbers so that I can get this money, right? And it's like the same thing, the same concept, where because I used to, in undergrad, my specification in sociology degree was organizational management. That's why they say, like, if you go to an office and you say, it starts being competitive, where there's a scoreboard. Now, for long-term games, it's not necessarily good for the team, but for short-term games, that scoreboard starts to move people, like people that weren't even productive start to be productive, because you don't want to see your name like 10th on that scoreboard, right? And so it's not good for long-term effects, but for short-term effects of putting us in a human like lab. So you start having a scoreboard, even people that don't even be working start to work, because it's like, dang, now everyone can see I'm coming 8th out of 10 or whatever. So then that competitive edge. That's exactly what Instagram and Twitter and TikTok has been doing on steroids. Your followers, your likes have become the scoreboard of humanity. People don't even look you up anymore in terms of like, hey, you could do this, that, and the third. They look you up on Instagram. They look you up on TikTok to kind of see what your life is. I was joking with this with my friend recently because the lady that I used to work with at the corporate office in a tech company, she runs $1 billion company, but she doesn't have like a social media blueprint. If you Google her, you'll see all the articles like in Forbes and Inc., but not like a social media blueprint. And so it's like, is she really making all this money? And I'm like, yeah, her company literally was validated for $1 billion, but you don't know her because why? She doesn't have a social footprint. And that's coming to our society where we're no longer, at every instance of era of history, there has been a measuring stick, right? At one point, it used to be your cows and your cattle and how much land you have. But today, it literally is social currency. It is who you are on Instagram. Do you have a blue check by your name? Like if you get a blue check, people treat you differently, literally online. You could have been saying the same thing over and over. I kid you not. If next year our podcast gets some massive feature, people will start treating you different. Hey Lawrence, yeah, what's up?
Oh yeah, so can I get on? Can I get on?
Can I get on?
I never listened to any of your episodes. I don't like anything that you ever done, but can I get on?
Right. So it's like this is new social currency. The question we want to ask ourselves as a society, though, how is it going to impact us as a whole? Is it something that it's okay, every era has their thing, and it happens to be social media, or do we think that it's going to impact us in a very, very a way that's going to make our next generation suffer, including this generation that we're living through now? That's the question. How much of an impact does it make? And is it like a life-changing impact where people are literally, is the rate of suicide increasing because of social media? Or are we just seeing, hey, it's always been like this is just a new form of what's going on in society?
The rate of depression, suicide, and the rate of depression for sure. The rate of violence, internalized violence, and also is going to become externalized violence as that, this thing pops out of control. On top of that, I think the biggest issue now, we have a lot of people quitting or not even entering the work field at all because they're searching for the most, that kind of level of either validation or instant fame. But like everything, it's like a pyramid. There's only so few people that get to the top of that pyramid. And there's so many people at the bottom that don't, it just basically becomes the complete opposite for them. So we have, especially in the Black and brown community, I always kind of turn a little bit more financial. The idea that you're searching for this, yeah, maybe you might be the one that make it, but there's more likely the 99% chance that you won't. And you end up spending a lot of your savings, a lot of your, the best years of your life that you're supposed to learn new skills that are really gonna make you marketable for the next 20, 40 years. Even if you become social media famous, that can only last for so long. Remember like the whole, you drop a song, one hit wonder. Like in that moment, in that season, you're hot. Like 2 Chainz was hot. The Migos were hot. Yeah, you're like, who is the Migos? Like all these people eventually, Fetty Wap was hot, and now he out there selling drugs. That's some kind of thing recently. So there's all of these things happen fairly quick to people. And even in that moment, in this year, you might be very successful, but it doesn't really transfer into the long-term sense. 20, 40 years. You can't really do social media for 40 years straight. 9 times out of 10, it either breaks you break, or there's no audience for you because there's always somebody new. So right. In essence, that's what we're seeing now, especially as it pertains to the minority communities. People are literally not working, not bringing in any income, staying at the crib. Hopefully it gets better, not going to college or, getting education in these type of fields that might make them money long term. They're like, I don't want to do this thing. I just heard my buddy, made 40 stacks, last year, on YouTube. I'm like, okay. So they rather jump on that. They rather take those opportunities, and it's going to cost them in the long run. And that's where I land.
I think there's going to be sorry, Lance, you can go.
No, I think that traditional working has changed, especially amongst the pandemic, where people are exploring different options, maybe outside of college or attending college. But I do truly believe people are getting skill sets to help them kind of sustain their life, or starting a business, or looking into drop shipping. A lot of people are doing that, or create some kind of product or services that they're doing. So traditional working is changing a bit. There's so many ways to make money online, so it's not just one way. As a YouTuber or influencer, is really multiple ways of streams of income that people are becoming really aware of, how to kind of tap into those streams, and how to just generate wealth for themselves.
Yeah, I definitely agree. There's a variety. I think the thing that's missing though is the discipline that it takes to actually build. And I think you have to go into the mindset of like, if I am going to be a builder, right? Like you have to now be a person that's going to generate cash flow or understand these things. I think what we need to understand that that's a skill set. And with anything that's a skill set, there's a learning curve. There is something that you need to understand, and then there's something that you need to be able to grow into. And I think what Lawrence is mentioning is some people are just jumping into it like, oh yeah, I just saw so and so, he said he made whatever, not realizing, oh, this person had a page for 7 years and it just took off like in the last 6 days or something like that. And they're telling you like the high moment of building it, that it took a long time for them to turn it to monetize it, right? Like I think the process is what's missing. Like you need to understand the process is going to take, and why not, if you don't want to necessarily work in a traditional retail like job, let's say you don't want to go into, that's what you were doing, there are work from home jobs that are paying literally the same thing where you can do other things, but work before you can work on what you want to do before you validate something that's not validated yet. Like you're validating it because someone else did it, but can you go out and do it? And I think that's what's missing. Like, yeah, you read all these success stories, or you're even seeing some of Lawrence and Lance's articles and what they've been featured. I think what's missing is people are meeting us in 2021 and not realizing there was 2022 Lawrence, there was 2022 Lovely, there was 2022 Alana. Like before you get to the point where you can make these options or you can make these investments, like it took me a long time. The risk that I'm taking now is only because on the backs of 6 years, or no, I'm lying, back of 8-9 years of certain type of work. And even for me, it's like, every day I'm like, are you being wise about this? Like what you're facing these obstacles, what are the results? What are the resilience you're going to need to take this thing to the next level? I think people need to consider there's a plethora of ways that you can make money online. The question is there a plethora of time that you're going to take to be disciplined in one? If you are going to do drop shipping, do you understand what the industry is like? Do you understand the up and downs? Do you know when there's high season, low season? Do you understand what the cost of one of my favorite line items on a financial sheet of our startups, every time I read them, or it's the cost of revenue, which means like, what did you have to invest to actually make this revenue? And I think people only see someone making 6 figures online, but they don't understand what is the line item cost of revenue. What is it going to take you to actually make the 6 figures? And these are questions that if you don't ask yourself, if you really don't go into this with a plan, you're going to fall face and you're going to lose years because you're not willing to actually do the work that's entailed. Do not jump into the arena not knowing the cost of the fight. So
gotta assess. Yeah.
Agree. Count the cost.
So it could work out for one person, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work out for you.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of clickbaits and quit your social media, quit your job and all that good stuff. And I absolutely agree.
I think there's context matters. Like I'm not going to sit there and tell someone. I think a lot of even our struggles in talking to small business owners, when they get in a discovery call with me, they kind of really want me to tell them how I'm going to help them make 6 figures in the next 6 months. And I'm literally telling them that it might take you, most businesses don't turn a profit until year 4 or 5, most. That's the answer.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah. So I can't come into a meeting because you've been listening to Scammy Susie. And she's selling
Damn, scammy Susie. Is Susie
Yeah.
the
It's the second
scammer?
time
out
you
here?
use Susie.
Yeah.
Use the word
Like,
Susie.
you're like scammy Susie out here.
know
Like,
that name.
damn. Like, we got Karens and now we got scammy Susie in the streets.
Yeah,
All
like,
parents ain't white.
Pause.
Hey,
I said what I
diversity,
said.
inclusion, diversity, inclusion.
Diversity,
Lovely can't say
inclusion.
none of these statements no more. Diversity, inclusion.
Yeah,
Go
so
ahead.
essentially, to wrap it up and not to kind of like beat a dead horse, is you got to count the costs. Like every day I wake up and I'm doing this, I'm counting the costs. Like I feel called to this, I feel aligned with it, and it costs me because there's something else that I could be doing that I know that would have turned me immediately way more. Like I could go get my kush, whatever. But before I made this type of sacrifice, I had to assess where I was. I had to assess a certain amount of things, and even with that, there's still a lot of obstacles, right? Like things that are showing up, and I'm like, man, is this even real? Like, is this even real? Like, one thing that we're working through is this, like, we just wake up in the morning and you have institutions that are saying, because there's so much fraud out there, we have to flag all new accounts because that's how much fraud, and we're going to hold your funds for 90 days because that's how much fraud we've been experiencing. I'm like, I'm not scamming anybody. We got receipts, we got contracts, we have all the stuff, we have invoices, we have proof of payment. And they're like, we hear you, but at the end of the day, that's how much fraud is going on. And we have to do this now because that's how much fraud is going on. Like we're finding out that people are like taking people's information, processing invoices multiple times over and over. And so big companies like Square, Cash App, and I'm going to do a whole podcast episode about this, are really being very tight with even your money because of how many people are doing fraud and scam. So I have to say scammy Susie, because when you come to me and you're telling me that you heard that you can just start an e-commerce store and it's going to blow up overnight and you can make $1 million, or you can make 6 figures every month. And I'm telling you that it might take you 36 months, 48 months before you see a return on investment, that some of the biggest e-commerce brands that we know today started 5, 6, 7 years ago. Like we only see the height of a company, but then if you start looking at the date that they were founded, you'll see that, oh, this company's been around for 6, 7 years. Like go learn, when did Facebook first turn a profit? Go learn, when was the first time that they were able to monetize? They had millions of people on Facebook and they weren't monetized because Mark didn't know how, and he had to bring a COO on to make it a business. That's the thing. Like even the people that have millions of followers on Instagram, they may not be able to have a solid business because business management, business skills is a skill set. It's like a technical skill set. You need to actually understand market. You need to also understand that most of the time before a market can even convert, it takes you 24 months for you to even have some type of churn, for people to be able to trust you. We see the anomalies. Yes. Are there some people that get on the market and boom, it hits? Yeah. Most of the time that's not true. And I think we see the highlights of some of the biggest entrepreneurs. We don't understand the cost. We see the highlights of the biggest influencers. We don't understand the cost. Go look at how much YouTube couples that are no longer doing YouTube together literally have to have separate channels because the cost of fame can eat up into your mission and ambition of your family.
Official statements.
Cost. Like count it.
Gotta release the official statement together. Guys, like amicable, like it's all good, but
channels now, right? Because it's real, like, and I think there is something to be said about this, and we're not deteriorating you from, maybe going out to do these things, but count the cost and consider what it's going to cost you. Consider what you might need to do first before you even move on. You see the person that says, yeah, I made $1 million on my business this year. They've been doing it for 10 years before they even got that million. I think as a society, I threw something in the group, the coupon people.
Oh yeah. I seen that. I heard of it.
Lady guys that are going to jail for 12 years for frauding coupons, selling coupons.
Oh shoot! There's a movie coming out about it.
Yeah, federal time.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there's a movie coming out about it.
It's crazy.
Hey, fame is fame.
Fame is fame, right? Her husband 7 years because he benefited from her scammy ways, and she got 12 years. and literally somebody call the coupon corporation people. I don't remember the name of the federation. Like they make sure that coupons, like there's a whole group of people that kind of make sure that coupons are like legit. And she sold like over 30 million, like this is $30 million plus of scam over coupons.
This is fake coupons, all right?
Fake coupons, yeah, not real ones. But why? Like, why would you do that? Why? Because it's making you money. So now if you were following her model of like, she has a coupon business and now you're trying to create a business, it's a coupon business, you're following a scammer. And there's so much different things that are happening. Don't you go into credit agencies that are repairing your credit, but then they're selling your information and giving you fake CPNs, which is like fake social security numbers so you can get credit stuff. And you don't raise it, it doesn't raise a red flag in you because you're trying to get it quick. You need to, in your mindset, scale back. What is it that I really want? Oh, Queen Pens. Okay, Queen Pens. Yeah, we'll catch the movie, guys. But we need to think through, like, what's your mindset about all this stuff? Is like, what's causing you to feel like you need to get it quick? What's the pressure? What's the insecurity? Because none of us here are telling you that it's going to be easy all the time, or us changing our financial situations are easy or was easy. What we're saying is, it's like, if you take the time to do it the right way, you don't have to keep looking behind your back every single second. You can sleep at night in peace. None of us is out here not sleeping because we know we're not doing things that can cause us to be like, for FBI to come up to your door. It's not worth the cost.
One thing I love about FBI, especially when they hit you with fraudulent charges or any sort of federal charges, they let you marinate. They allow it.
Oh yeah.
Right? No, like they don't look at the 300,000. Nah. They see it. They identify. It's already a red flag, right? But they just let it sit. Let it season.
let it marinate.
Let it marinate.
Let it cook.
They allow it to get to, a lot of times, billions of dollars, because they know they're gonna hit you with all those charges.
Yeah, where it can't be refuted. Where you can't even say, because they know like at 250,000, you might finesse to say, well, I didn't know there's a lot of things your lawyer could get you off.
Yeah.
But they know when they start hitting you with the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mil, nah, you knew what you was doing. You were committed to the process, and we're going to commit to this process of putting your ass in jail. That is what we're going to do. So we talk about it. It's fun. It's all fun and games, guys, but
until it's not, there are proper ways to get out your situation. There are proper ways to change the course of your life that are going to be lasting, that is going to truly help you, where you don't have to look back and say, damn, I'm about to lose 10 years of my life in prison because of something that I wanted to get quick. I went to this person that told me they're going to put me on 3 trade lines and this is that and the third. Like, nah, like stop. As a community, we have to do better, because the right way, I'll tell you guys this, and I'll shut up for the rest of the episode. I think we'll probably wrap it up. When you do, something happened this like 2 days ago, and someone came to me and they were talking to me about something, and they said to me like, oh, I can do this for you because I know that you're a trustworthy and a responsible person. And I was just like, oh, how do you know that? It's like, well, I pay attention. I asked around who you are. I asked around this, that, and the third. And it taught me something that I always know, but every time that in those moments where you quote unquote find favor or doors open for you, you realize that when you do things in integrity, when you're honest, when your character precedes you, your name precedes you before you even enter a room, that it changes things. It literally, doing the right thing opens doors consistently. It may not be quickly, but it's consistent. And it's always things that you didn't even think that were imaginable. When people see you, it's like when the bank see your name, they're going to be like, yep, so-and-so, they're legit. We can look at their background and see that they did everything right. And it's the same thing with credit. They're going to look at and see, did you do the right things? If you didn't, that's why they're telling you no. But guess what? You can actually change the behavior so that in 5 years or 3 years or 2 years that they respond to you differently. I think we say a lot of time that the financial institutions are against us, but we don't even find out what the rules are. And we really are just trying to find the shortcut. Take the long way.
I know it sounds like, who wants to take the long way? But you're not going to be on arrest. You won't be on Queen Pens. They're not going to make a whole movie about you. And you can actually live a meaningful life. So scale back, do the things that you need to do in the right way, be patient with the process, and do what you need to do that's going to help you, and not necessarily the things that are easy. And we don't want to put you in the category of scammy Susie. So,
that's Scammy Susie.
Yeah. So if you listen to the Financial Griot podcast, we're not going to tell you lies. We're not going to scam you. We're not going to tell you things to get you quickly there, but we'll tell you things that's going to be that tomorrow your kids can leverage your name because you've done such a great job for them and you've given them a foundation they can stand on. And not being one of those parents that got credit stuff on their kid's name and messed their kid's credit before they were 18. So you could be two different type of parent. The parent that it's great to leverage your last name, and the parent you just wish that, dang, I wish I ain't have this because
I'll send them to jail. I'm sorry, to hell. I send them to jail straight up. I'd snitch on my own parents. They did that to me, man. I'm straight up called a thing because it's literally a crime. You're not supposed to do that at all. I don't care if that's your parent or not. I'll send them in jail, bro. I can't do that. I ain't built that way.
I think that's a theme for our podcast, or maybe that one of the themes of just everything that Lovely touched on, and Lawrence, scammy culture, all that good stuff, whatnot, is in the heighten of social media and great resignation, right? Quitting your job for the fast cash or doing these schemes it's all fun and games until it's not. It's all TikTok dances and challenges until it is not. We had a previous episode discussing about consumption, and this is just media consumption or just consuming sort of content that's not beneficial to you, binging things that not helping you, wasting your time, hours and hours out of day of not doing anything that'll be able to help you 5, 10, 15 years from now. So it's very serious that we discuss these things because we will see the impact the next 5 years, maybe less, because how things are just transpiring right now, of the TikToking, the dance challenges, the discussions of who wore what, when, and how, and all this, of people that was putting in the work and people that was doing nothing and assuming it was work. So it's not all fun and games, and it's not to say that we're all Debbie Downers and not to have fun. You can, but really think about what are you doing for your life and how can you change it, and utilizing your time. Put in the work. There's no way around it. Do not be scammy Susie. Put in the work to help you leverage anything that you set out to do in your goals. Like, trust me, you will become a better person outside from it, on the other side, and put your family and yourself in a better financial position. Lawrence, anything?
That was a lot. It's like everybody. I'm like, I try to come up with something real cool. For me, I'd say that you can't cheat the game. In the end of the day, the struggle is not sold separately. Life is inherently unbalanced, unfair, and is taxing. Recently my phone kind of broke down, and I have to get a brand new phone that's gonna be $1,500. Turns out in the rental unit, the AC unit outside started making a weird noise.
Wow, phone was $1,500.
Oh yeah, I'll get to that. I'll write a whole blog about it. Like, I gotta get an iPhone. I gotta max out. Social media. I gotta do what I gotta do.
Okay.
But I'm just guesstimating that amount. If it's cheaper, it's cheaper. So also the AC kind of got busted or whatnot, and that's gonna cost $7,500. It's gonna be hitting my side of the head. But at first, my initial drawback is like, oh man, I can't think, life is happening, it's unfair, it's wrong, blah blah blah. And then it get to the point, as you get more financially stable and secure, you realize that these things are not happening to you. Sometimes they're happening for you. You don't know what's going to be on the other side of you not taking care of that AC unit. Maybe it explodes. That's a whole situation. You don't know. You don't know what happens between, hey, you getting a new phone and, obviously you pay for it. Maybe you get some other stuff. But ultimately, we always process these things as the worst things that could happen to us. Like, taking time to build a business might take, sound like the worst thing that happened to us. But in truth, it might be the thing that you need for it to have the longevity that other organizations, other groups, other businesses don't have. The time it takes for you to get to success of wealth, it factors, it matters. It really does. You got to nestle in. You got to know what it's built for. So maybe you learn these lessons and then you look at your kids and you teach them the exact same lessons. Because in the end of the day, if you're not doing that, whatever wealth you accumulated, I swear to you, your kids will blow it. If you don't have a good understanding of whatever money that's coming in, your kids won't have a better understanding of it. Your grandkids you will end up snorting cocaine. All I know. In the end of the day, it's just I'll have to get the face like cocaine. Like, yes, cocaine is like the
You
worst.
always say the right things, and then just that one thing.
It's like, it's true. Cocaine is a bad thing.
Why
Like, it
you
destroys
do that?
lives. Like, it destroyed a lot of people in the community. So I had to bring it up. But either way, you don't want to rob yourself of the experience of learning, growing, and understanding. So with that being said, that's where I land. That's where I do my thing. Why did I say that stupid clubhouse? And that's where I land now. Everything, like, that's where I stop. But ultimately, we thank you for joining us yet again on another episode of the Financial Griot. So what starts off one way, that always ends up another way, because we take a lot of stories, a lot of ideas, a lot of perspectives, and we try to wrap it up in a lot of things you can use for notes, understanding, and perspective that will change and be actionable in your life. On top of that, we do appreciate you leaving a like, review, subscription, and all that good stuff, and telling your friends too, because it's one thing to internalize good things, but it's another thing to actually share it and really change the world one single click at a time. Yes, we don't make money out of this, and we wish we would, because some of us are broke. So Alana looking kind of weird, like, because she knows that she's the one I'm referring to. Because I got money and Lovely got money because she's a small business owner, and we were questioning, does Alana have any money?
I'm the 9-to-5 CEO. Respect. And first of all, okay, we're gonna end this very well.
We're not gonna do this.
I am forming abs. I got an executive membership at Costco's, and I got an air fryer. Lawrence,
hey, you got $30. You got $30 for gas. You got $30 for that gas. Like, that's it.
I'm over here living life like to the best.
Yeah, we're not doing what Lovely said. We all trash at the very beginning. It's like, whoa.
Oh no, we redeemed ourselves at this point.
No, that was like, that's personal for you. It's like, we are all trash. We are together as a team. We stand together. No, we do not.
Is this that episode that I said that in?
Yeah, this has to be the episode.
Yeah.
So, well, lovely. You all say something about actionable steps, when you're on the episode, what you got?
Oh, yeah. Let me make sure that you guys have some. So the biggest thing that I would want to say out of this particular conversation is audit your life and take inventory. Take inventory, not only your finance, but like important areas of your life, whether your health, spirituality, friendships, groups, whatever. And once you're done with that audit, review the things that make you queasy, the things that make you feel like, dang, I'm not too comfortable about this. I like having more uncomfortable conversations lately because it helps me see where I have gone wrong. Like, I had a conversation with my advisor, and he ran me my rights. And he's just like, you don't want to do this one thing that's literally going to change the course of the business because you are thinking about your own damn insecurity. So you either decide you put yourself aside to step into what you need to step into, or don't get on the field. I was like, can you even talk to me like that? Like, that's just rude. But it had me take audit of the things that I want to do. So I'm really great at doing my ops things, my administrative things, and all this other stuff that I know needs to get done. But my mentor literally was telling me, like, that you have a gift of speaking, and people like to hear you speak. And no matter how much you try to run from it, it's very true. So if you don't double down on the gifts that God gives you, don't expect you to get yourself to get to the next level. So I had to audit. Why was I doing that? Why don't I like visibility? Why I just want to stay in my own little corner? And it's like, God's like, no, you can't stay in your own little corner, because the next level requires you to be visible. And so that was my audit. I don't know what your audit is. Your audit might be financial. Your audit might be your relationship with your husband or your wife. Your audit might be the way you're parenting your children. What are the things that you are currently not proud of and that make you afraid that if we had to talk to you one-on-one, that you would put how when you're talking to that person and essentially they know they did something wrong and they're looking down, they don't want to look you in the eye. But what is the thing that you can't look somebody in the eye about because you are insecure about it, haven't addressed it, or you need to do better? That's the thing that I want you to take this week to really figure out, what is the next course of action? if it's the way you look, if it's the way you feel about your body, all these different things, there's a solution. And one of the biggest things that I'll leave you guys with, we are here to learn. That's been the mantra that I've been intaking and sharing. We are here to learn. And maybe the reason why this part of your life sucks right now is because you're going to be the person in your family, in your community, to change that thing about you. And now you get to help other people. Lawrence does the neighborhood finance guy because in 2012, right, Lawrence? Was it that year 2012 was your pivotal year? 2012 was faced. He had all these things happening. And it was like, dang, I don't want to live this life anymore this particular way. And that was his moment. But here we are almost 9+ years later. He's sharing, he's won awards, he's been featured on Business Insider. What was once a struggle now is a solution for somebody else. So you don't know what your breakthrough is going to come, but you can't get there unless you audit. And to address a problem, you first have to be aware of it. And you cannot be aware of it if you're not taking inventory. So that's your assignment this week. That's how I'm going to keep you accountable. And let us know, what was the area that you found that was a little shaky? And maybe one of us can help you in helping you navigate that. So some people can just go into a box and figure it out, but most of us need community and we need resources. And you have plenty of resources between myself, Alanta, and Lawrence. Reach out to us. We're not gonna scold you or judge you, but we'll make sure that we can give you a pathway for you to do better in your life. And that's the Financial Griot podcast. Oh yeah, Alanta, can you talk about that real quick? Like, I just wrapped it up, but you guys like listening to us, so just keep on. Talk about that.
I just seen the message.
Yeah.
I have just reached over. If you follow me on Instagram, it's _Alanta, ITS_Alanta, ALAINTA. I always gotta put that in. But I recently shared that my investments has now surpassed my debt. So what does that mean, right? I no longer have that total amount of that negative, loan amount, credit card, consumer debt, whatnot. I have over $50,000 plus of investments that is working in my benefit. And it has surpassed my debt amount. I didn't think about it. I think when I share you guys on our group chat, I'm like, oh, it surpassed it. Like, I don't know what made me think of it, but it took work. Like this is, I'm sharing this now in 2021, but this is something that's been happening since 2015, 2016. Fixing my credit, coming back from South Korea, doubling down on a position that can get me to, different other opportunities that has now granted me as an analyst. Like, every move that I made was intentional. Every sacrifice I made was intentional. And doing all those things has now surpassed, and it's going to grow even more entering the new year, right? So I put in the work, just as everyone has mentioned on this episode. It's really about slow, consistent building wealth. You will get there. You will absolutely get there. And for me, I'm all about law of attraction and manifestation. I look at this, I look at my investments, I look at my accounts and say, I reach over $50,000. I think I'm at 54 or something like that. Next year, I'll be at 60. Maybe I'll be at 70 or 80. I keep imagining those zeros increasing. And it's for me to know that, dang, my mom, my father, my aunts, this is what they have imagined. This is the sacrifice they have wanted and everything they wanted for the next generation. And I'm living up to their expectation of doing all the right things for the next generation. And I love it. So yeah, man, I am slowly and consistently getting to that wealth building. And this is where I'm at. And this is how we land and close. TFG. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you for listening to the Financial Griot podcast, powered by the Wealth Builders Collective.